everybody, this is me Ernesto. Welcome back, if you saw my last video, to the Social Services Video Network. I wanted to make this video today because I am, you may notice a little bit of scruff on me. It's not because I'm just not paying attention to what my personal hygiene needs are, but it's actually because I had the day off today from my work. And the reason why I had the day off was it is a holiday. And for those of you who don't know, most people, what they call today's holiday is what's considered Columbus Day. And so because of Columbus Day, a lot of government organizations, some private organizations, some schools, other places have the day off. And I had the day off today. But I wanted to actually go a little bit into the significance of some holidays in terms of cultural awareness, cultural competence, and the work that we do in social work. So in many jurisdictions across the United States, in many areas, people celebrate different holidays with different levels of excitement or levels of participation. Some areas of the country may be more inclined to celebrate like St. Patrick's Day, or some people are more into the Christmas holidays and other things. And those holidays come either with a lot of historical joy and happiness, or sometimes trauma. And that's just within that particular generation. However, there are also holidays that may bring with it a little bit of historical trauma, and that's kind of what I'm talking about today. And so in my particular area, we do serve a lot of Latino or Spanish speaking families. And so although, many are just maybe happy to get the day off, if any of them were to get the day off on Columbus Day, there's a bit of that subconsciously has trickled down through the generations of the historical trauma that brings with it. Days like this, when it's a holiday that may bring with it some historical trauma or some historical significance to individuals, families, or communities we serve, these days are actually good times to reflect on either that particular day, what we're celebrating or why we have the day off, or in general, just reflect on how our work is impacting families and what our cultural lens may or may not be contributing to the relationship that we have with those that we're working with. So I see this as an opportunity to reflect on the historical trauma that has impacted the families that I work with day to day, or that my colleagues work with in my area, because there are things that have occurred generations in the past that we may not consider as we're sitting face to face with our families or our clients. But those things that have happened in the past, many generations ago, do have impact on the families that we work with. If you're sometimes working with, let's say a Latino or even an African American family, and you're knocking on their door, you're trying to get engaged with them, you're going there with the best of intentions. You want to help this family. You're trying to engage them and get them on the same page with you so that you can work towards a positive solution. That's your lens, that's your social worker lens, possibly. But from the other side of the coin, that family, even though they may not recognize it, brings with them a level of historical trauma where you don't trust someone knocking on the door always. You never know if that's the person that's coming to take your children, if they're coming to do something even more negative, or I won't even say what the specifics are, but they may be coming to do something that's not ideal for you. And so even without having a conscious level of awareness, many families are impacted by this, what we see as our going into their lives and trying to help them, they may see as, who is that? Who are you? Why are you here? What are you going to do to me? And what are you going to do to my family? Because over the generations, historical trauma and historical events have shown some populations that it's not a positive when someone comes knocking. And you don't always trust those who say they're coming to help, those who say they're going to make things better, because that has not been the way that it's always played out. And so for those families, the generations, parents with children and grandparents with grandchildren, either orally through stories or through behavior modification techniques over the years, have kind of ingrained in these populations how you interact with someone knocking on your door, someone from a government agency, someone who's saying they're trying to help. So again, this is just on this day, on what many people call Columbus Day. I myself and many of my colleagues and people I work with call it Dia de la Raza. It's an alternative take on Columbus Day. Instead of celebrating Christopher Columbus, we celebrate the indigenous people of the continent and their struggles and their survival over the ages. But that's just the holiday. Again, I wanted to just take this opportunity to use the holiday to consider our practice and the lens that we see through when we're working with the family. It may be some historical trauma, or it could even be not that far distant past, where maybe there's a first generation or immigrant family that we're working with that has had some very negative experiences with government officials, or again, people knocking at the door saying they're coming to help. Those experiences haven't always been good for people, not even historically. I'm talking about like the people that are currently in our communities that we're trying to serve. So with that fresh memory of, I don't know if I could trust you, I don't know who you are or how you're going to impact my family. If that's the lens that they're looking through, and we come knocking at the door, we should always keep in mind that there may be what we call resistance or some level of defiant attitudes, or all the words that we use, but it really is important to take into account, is there a level of either historical trauma or just trauma very recently possibly that is impacting how this family sees us. So hopefully this little discussion has spurred some thought for yourself, maybe for your colleagues if you have a conversation about this. I think it's always a good thing to keep our eyes open and our minds open to things that we kind of can become numb to through the practice of just filling out the forms, answering the questions, asking the questions, and we sometimes forget to layer on the different levels of culture, trauma, family history that really color in the picture of the family that we're working with. I'd love to hear your comments, questions, agreements, disagreements down in the comments. I also would love if you subscribe to this channel, because I'm hoping to, and I'm dedicated as I sit here today to continue to produce some content like this that hopefully is useful to you, to at least cause you to think a little bit or have a conversation with someone to further your practice and to further your ability to serve the families that you work with. So subscribe, hit the little bell so you get the notifications when I post a new video. Interact with me down in the comment section, and I look forward to leaving you the next video whenever I have a chance and I feel like I can contribute something. Have a good day, and thanks for all you do. See you next time.